Here we're going to go ahead and begin cutting into the sheetrock over the fireplace mantle. I measured the stud locations. There's one and there's the other using the stud finder. I then measured the distance in between those two, and they're exactly 16 inches on centers of those two studs. And I measured the 8 inches away from either one, and that's the center line. It lines up exactly with where the tone location was. I then measured vertically to make sure that there was no stud behind there, to make sure that the fireplace mantle did not have 2x4s coming up that high. I don't remember them being that way, I just wanted to confirm. I then drew the box using the calipers to measure the outside diameter of the retrofit box itself, and then drew the template on the wall using a ruler. So next step is to grab the Dremel and start to cut into the sheetrock, and hopefully everything works out as we expect it to. Here it is after I Dremeled out the rectangle. I slipped once right up there and put a little bit of a nick outside of the rectangle, but that'll be covered up by the retrofit cover and the cover plate as well. The cable was exactly where it should be. Almost exactly on center and exactly where it toned out to be. You can see the chimney pipe back there behind it. Now it's just a matter of pulling it out and putting the retro game box in and going from there. So far everything is working exactly as it should. Here is the wire fished out of the wall. It just stuck my hand in there and unwrapped it. It goes from the top all the way down to a stud, and then it wraps around a hook that's down at the bottom and comes back up. And I'm going to leave it connected to the stud on the bottom and just use the piece that comes back up. It's plenty of space, and that'll keep their amount of excess cable from hopefully ever touching the chimney stack back there, which we don't want it to touch in case we run the chimney and there's any wire that gets too close to that. So far everything's working. We're going to see how good my measurements were with the retrofit single gang box that goes in and clamps onto the wall with the hole that I made in the wall. Hopefully I didn't make it too wide or too narrow, so I don't have to do any more cutting with the Dremel. We're just going to slide this down the wire and make sure the lugs are facing inwards, and we're going to fit sideways up to the top. Perfect! That is an excellent fit. Nice and tight, no excess slack, and not too tight where I needed to do any other cutting. Now the thing is to go ahead and tighten down the screws so that these lugs come out and basically grab onto the wall behind it. They just flip in basically and grab onto the wall behind it as you tighten down the screws. And we'll do that next. And here we are about to tighten down the retrofit bracket onto the sheetrock using my DeWalt cordless screwdriver. You can see the lug is on the wrong side. It'll flip over hopefully once you start applying a little bit of screwdriver force here. There it goes, it flips over. And you just start, let's see if we can get it to focus here. It starts to ratchet in and it works properly, and I will get back to you guys after I have that part all done. Now that the single gang retrofit box is installed, the next step will be to go ahead and strip the wire ends and attach it to this binding post single gang wall plate. And once that's done, we attach that to the single gang box and then cover it up with this wall plate. And we should have a nice tidy installation once we're all done. We have the wire connected to the binding post of the mounting plate. I went ahead and ran it through the center of the plate so that the wires would go away from each other and there'd be no chance of any of the individual strands touching or anything of that sort. I tightened them down really good with a pair of pliers, so everything should have really good contact and there should be no chance of anything loosening up. Now it's a matter of putting the wire back in. Probably should have made this a little bit shorter. I hate cutting wire that goes inside a wall. My only worry is any chance of them touching that chimney stack, which is way back there, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure it goes off to the side so that there's nothing that it could touch. Looks like a pretty quick cavity in there. Anyhow, that's the next step, and we're almost done. And here we have the 5-way binding post for the center channel speaker installed. The only thing that's missing now is the cover plate that goes on it, and we'll go ahead and snap that on right now. With a nice tight fit. Let's take a step back, and basically that is it. We now have a center channel connection for the surround sound system with no wires exposed. I was debating on installing a in-wall center channel. I just realized that once I do that, I am committed to the hole in the wall, and if anything were to happen to that center channel, you got a problem. Here, I have the entire mantle to place a center channel on top of that doesn't have a real commitment to wall space. Anyhow, that's everything I have. I'm glad everything went well, and I'm signing off. Thank you.